feel not enough has been done to protect them and their families in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic. Some are worried that they might have spread the virus to the neighbouring rural community, while others are already feeling the symptoms. These tour guides, with more than 3,000 international tourists, including those who were quarantined in a ship in St Lucia, they spent time with them. Now we're joined on the line by Themba Mthembu from Makhanyakude Tourist Guide. Very good morning to you, Mr. Mthembu. Thank you for talking to us this morning. You represent some of the tour guides that got in touch with those German tourists who have now been quarantined, apparently. Tell us about that.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Stika. I really appreciate an opportunity. Yes, I'm Themba, and I represent Makhanyakude, just to correct you a little bit, Makhanyakude Tourist Guide Forum.
I did correct that, yes, it's Makhanyakude. I even know where the name comes from, because the area has those trees that light up from a distance. That's where the name comes from. Yes.
Exactly. Yeah, so what we have just done, in fact, with help from the National Department of Tourism, we just have to form ourselves a smaller structure that could be able to address the ills of the tourist guides in the region, specifically Makhanyakude, which is an area more on a seaward edge, all the way up towards the border of Causeway Bay. So we're also very concerned about the cases of this COVID-19 that has been hitting the country so badly. And more importantly, as you know, we are more exposed to the tourists from time to time, which means that there is so high that, yes.
Before we get into the general issues, can we just clarify, do you know or are part of that group that was exposed to the German tourists?
Come again?
Are you speaking in general, or are you specifically, or were you specifically exposed to those tourists?
Yeah, just specifically to those tourists. So much has been done about that. They were taken. One of them actually who got infected was taken to the nearby hospital, which is at Manguzi. So at the moment, as far as I know, the area is way cleared out of the virus. And I can just assure you, we have had few activities where we got some of the activities still running around the area, but I can assure you that our top operators in St Lucia have been complying well. They have just put down the tools, so there is no activities carrying on from this side.
So the tourist guides are affected health-wise and in terms of your business activity?
Come again?
Are you telling us that tourist guides are affected in terms of their health, in terms of concerns there, and they're also affected because they can't continue to work?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it has touched everybody, as you know, because now you can't put something on the table. You're just sitting there, and you really have to sit there because you don't want to affect your family members. So, but this has cost your life. I mean, it's costing your family life as well. It's a little bit bad.
So what conversations are taking place amongst tourist guides? Because you're almost like a first point of call in terms of tourists wanting to see the place that they have visited. And you have been in contact more than most citizens with tourists.
Yeah. So, it's a bit bad, but obviously everyone has been forced to shut down. And remember, the tourist guides, they're quite different. You've got formal and informal structures, the freelance ones and the non-freelance ones, which are employed by different tour operators. And it's quite very bad for the informal structures ones, which are freelancing ones, because they obviously have got nothing to put on the table. And apart from that, remember, they are not prescribed under any governmental grant or any sort of management disaster help. So this even makes their life even much more miserable at these harsh times.
Themba, what is taking place in terms of testing? Are people encouraged to go have their tests done for COVID-19?
Very much true. The Department of Tourism and all other affiliated organizations have been spreading out the word. We are also, from our small structure, trying hard to spread out the word that everybody has got to test. It's currently voluntarily, but we are actually urging everyone who knows that they're at high-risk areas to just move forward and go for testing. So it's a little bit difficult. I must just tell you, we had some of our tourist guides who have been working very close in contact with the risk people, and some of them, realize, okay, they have to go for testing, and they try to go to the nearby clinics, and when they get there, the clinical practitioners have to, how can I just say it, but they had to administer some sort of medication that they hope will just ease the pains or the symptoms that they're currently having at the moment, but not exactly testing them. And they're only telling them to wait until the prescribed period, which I believe is 14 days before they go to the nearby prescribed hospital where they can just officially test. So they're very, very worried. Or I can also say I'm also very, very worried because now you're sitting with this. You have got the symptoms that you really feel that they are actually, leading to what you have had, COVID-19, but you can't do anything about it because you have to wait for the prescribed period.
What plans are you putting in place as an organization for beyond the 21-day lockdown? Because it's one of those sectors where you can't just immediately go back to work.
Yeah, 100% correct. That has been the pain. At the moment, pain for all the guys. We're trying to work also with other conservation organization bodies which are very responsible, like Makhanyakude. So somewhere along the line, they've also been fighting on the side, and luckily, from an amount of money that has been injected as sort of disaster management plan, I can assure you that some of the small SMMEs that are working connected with Makhanyakude, they will definitely benefit from that. But also from that governmental page where he will be raising funds for the SMMEs on that website, lots of the businesses, regardless whether you're from the Elephant Coast or wherever, but if people can go into that website, they can claim some assistance of what they really regard as paramount importance during the days of their life within this fixed period. It's quite a bit bad. I've also been trying to write to different stakeholders to try and consider us, especially the freelance guys, because I must be very honest with you, for the freelance guys it's very bad because you do not appear from that prescribed list of the people who are exempted for that grant. So this will make your life even more miserable. So I'm still waiting to hear from my top officials what will be way forward.
Velase, thank you so much for speaking to us today.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate for the time. Thank you.
Themba Mthembu is from the Makhanyakude Tourist Guide Forum. Let's take a break.